My name is Eli Roselle. I'm a carpenter and leather worker. I'm based out of Kelowna now. This is where I did some growing up when I was younger, but just got moved back and really excited to get out there and get some gold panning done. Things weren't going so great for me out east. You know, life is what happens when you're busy making plans, and here I am. It's the first night in the truck. We're gonna see how it goes. I'm hoping that we don't get any furry friends joining us in the middle of the night that want some food. We've got the bear vault set up, but the kitties might be a little bit of a snack. So we'll see how it goes. We found this beautiful spot on the Oyster River. Honestly, I just can't wait. I've been driving around for about an hour now trying to find a good spot to access this, and we got here. We're back. All right. Today is pretty rainy. So I set up a little shelter so that you can join me on this. We brought out a little bit of different gear today. I have a nice big 19-liter bucket and a longer spade shovel so that I can get into some of the deeper cracks down into the bedrock that's decaying just right along here. I've already got one test pan done just to make sure that I was still on some level of pay dirt, but we'll see what more we find. It's kind of funny. We started down in Vancouver Island. I was at my buddy's place getting set up. I did a drive up to Campbell River, and that was, you know, a bit of a bust. Didn't really find any gold there. Found a flake or two here and there. A little bit of powder gold basically in the pan, but nothing to write home about. Definitely not worth working. Are we going on an adventure? All right, we are just in the middle of panning over in this. We're just doing a little section along the backside of this rock here. And we've got a pan that is just about ready to go. So I'm gonna try and see what I can do to capture this here as we do a little reveal. Try and show the gold. So. Let's do a little swirl here. And I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but we got some gold flake. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to capture it on this camera, but we definitely got some gold in this pan. I'm seeing 4 or 5 pieces right now, and I haven't even revealed it all. I went back down, started finding spots on the Silk River. I found
great gold the first day that I was there. I was finding nice little crevices that hadn't been hit, good gravels inside the river that, you know, I had access to. And then I went back the next day. The water level had gone up about a foot and a half. I thought I'd be a hero and try and march my way across, but there was no way. I got turned over and my hip waders caught the waves or the current, and it just sent me down the river. I lost my gold pan that day. I had to go out and buy a new one. Thankfully, that's all I lost because I had a bag with all of my camera and my gear and everything ready to go across. And the hip waders basically just acted like a giant parachute in the water. It just grabbed me and took me along. I wish I'd got footage of it. And then from there, we hopped on the ferry and made our way out to the mainland, where we went to the Fraser River. And that's where we started to find better gold. We started kind of use Hope as a base camp for us. And from there, we went on up to Yale, which was where we spent most of our time, at least that first day. We figured we'd go and kind of get a base point on how much gold you can pull out at some of the recreational panning reserves. If we're not making as much or more than the recreational gold panning reserves that are getting hit pretty regularly, then I think that's a pretty good sign that it's time to move on somewhere else.
Oh yeah. We got a nice little spot underneath this big here rock. So as the river came down this way, it would have created a little eddy underneath here, and all these gravels and all of that underneath there has probably got some gold in it. So let's see what we can find.
I didn't have a frame of reference for how much is a lot of gold per pan just yet. And it varies from region to region and size and composition. You know, is it smooth? Is it really jagged gold? You know, has it just only been revealed, or has it been working its way down the river for 1,000 years or 100 years or whatever years? So yeah, we had to really kind of work at just finding it first. And thankfully, Yale came through for us. working our way along, and I mentioned to Nathan, I was like, yeah, you just got to watch your stuff down by the edge of the river there. When you're panning out, make sure you throw your gloves and your classifier and everything that you don't want washed away up the river just a little bit. And then not 2 minutes later do I turn around and my classifier's gone.
You did your flyover shot, and that was the last time that we saw that classifier.
We thought it was, disappeared forever.
Well, that's how quickly shit can disappear on the Fraser River.
About 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, Nathan's looking over and kind of does one of those, what's that? And sure as hell, the classifier is just sitting right up against the edge of the bank, a little bit down from where we were panning. It had just gotten stuck in behind a rock that we didn't see and was just floating barely enough because of a little air underneath the brim that kept it afloat and kept it so that we could go and retrieve it at least. So thankfully we didn't lose it that day.
We've just pulled into my buddy's place. The truck is not doing so good. At least I got this floofy guy for company. Hey, we hide our trauma with laughter.
It's funny. We had the drone in the air, and we were filming a sequence with just trying to get, the drone following the truck, get a little bit of that, and I think I even have the moment that it happened on camera where I was going to turn around and all of a sudden all I heard was a bang, big snap in the front right corner of my my truck. Sure as hell, we get it back to Kelowna after a very loud, grindy drive back. I took it to a shop and I had taken it to a shop before. I clearly knew that there was an issue with it already with the engine, and they told me that the number 2 cylinder has 0% compression when it's dry. So I had a pretty good idea that it was either a valve spring, head gasket, something around there, and then it started to smell like coolant. So I knew that I was like, okay, well, at that point we've probably got a crack in the block. I got back and we needed new calipers in the front, both sides. Needed new rotors, new pads. Not only that, on the way home we managed to destroy the bearing in the front hub. That was really great. And connected to that, well, not really connected, but going through that, we have the CV axle and the intermediary shaft, which were both completely destroyed. Needless to say, we had to stop for a little while and fix a lot of it. Some of it on the side of the road or in a parking lot. It wasn't fun.
That shouldn't do that. That should be solid. This side. I know I look hot right now, but come over here. You can see just exactly how destroyed that is. There is not a whole lot left of the pads. As you can tell, they are down at the grindy points. So she was squealing like a pig the whole way back. I guess the adventure continues once we get this fixed.
When I first mentioned this, everybody thought I was crazy. Going out and panning for gold in the mountains of British Columbia. It's not 1864. I'm probably not going to make a livable income, at least, from it, as far as the amount of gold that I would pull out versus the amount of hours and effort that go into it. We're going to see if we can get enough gold to outpace, gains from, let's say, 5 Solana in profit, is it faster for us to make an ounce? A kind of a comparison in that sense, but really more just a competition against myself. Can I do this? Can I make this happen? Can we make that Pathfinder's coin a physical reality? I needed a new path. I knew it was out there, and I just had to find it.